Trains are symbols of progress, speed, and connection. But what happens when a train becomes something far more sinister? In the heart of India, nestled between rugged landscapes and forgotten railway tracks, lies the legend of the cursed Karsan Train. A ghostly locomotive that disappeared under mysterious circumstances and, some say, continues to haunt the tracks to this day. Is this story just an urban legend, or is there something truly supernatural at play? Stay with us till the end as we uncover one of India's most terrifying train mysteries, one that still sends shivers down the spine of those who dare to speak of it. Our story begins in the late 19th century, when the British were rapidly expanding India's railway network. The Karsan route, a stretch of railway that cut through dense forests and treacherous terrain, was infamous for its dangerous curves, frequent landslides, and eerie silence. But what really made it infamous was the land on which it was built. According to local folklore, the railway was constructed over an ancient burial ground, a sacred place where generations of villagers had been laid to rest. The elders of Karsan had warned the British engineers that disturbing the land would bring disaster. But, as with many colonial projects, those warnings were ignored. Workers reported strange occurrences, tools going missing, sudden landslides with no warning, and whispers in the wind when no one was around. But the British pressed on. The conductor, an experienced railwayman, suddenly saw a ghostly figure standing on the tracks. A woman dressed in white, her arms outstretched as if she were warning the train to stop. The moment he pulled the emergency brakes, an unseen force seemed to take control of the locomotive. The train veered violently off the tracks, derailing and plunging into the ravine below. What followed was a scene of devastation, wreckage scattered across the valley, lifeless bodies submerged in the dark waters, and the chilling silence that followed the storm. The rescue teams arrived at sunrise, but what they found shocked them to their core. Many of the bodies showed no physical injuries, as if the passengers had simply died of fear. Some were found with their eyes wide open, terror frozen on their faces. But the most horrifying discovery was yet to come. Of the 200 passengers on board, only 170 bodies were recovered. The remaining 30 passengers were never found. Some speculated that they had been swept away by the river, but others believed something far more sinister, that they had vanished into another realm, taken by the spirits that haunted the land. Even stranger, pieces of the wreckage disappeared overnight. By the third day of the investigation, nearly half of the train had simply vanished, as if it had been swallowed by the earth itself. Locals began whispering that the cursed train still rode the tracks at night, carrying the lost souls of its passengers, forever trapped in a loop of endless terror. Following the tragedy, railway workers began to report bizarre encounters on the Karsan route. Some claimed to hear distant screams and cries for help, even though no one was there. Conductors reported phantom lights on the tracks, appearing suddenly and then vanishing into thin air. The most terrifying accounts came from passengers who saw a train speeding past them, only to realize there were no scheduled trains on that route at the time. One particularly chilling story comes from a station master in 1942, who swore he saw a fully intact train approaching the station late at night. As it got closer, he noticed there were no passengers inside, only shadowy figures with hollow eyes staring back at him. When he turned to signal the station workers, the train had completely disappeared. Skeptics argue that the hauntings surrounding the Karsan train are nothing more than psychological projections fueled by fear and folklore. Some believe the sounds heard at night could be caused by natural geological activity, and the phantom train sightings might be optical illusions or misidentifications of distant lights. However, paranormal investigators who have studied the site claim there is an undeniable energy in the area. Some have captured EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, of eerie whispers, while others report sudden temperature drops and feelings of unseen presences watching them. Whether the curse is real or not, one thing is certain. The Karsan train route remains one of India's most feared and mysterious railway tracks. The legend of the Karsan train is more than just a ghost story. It is a chilling reminder that some places carry a dark history that refuses to be forgotten. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, the eerie coincidences surrounding this train wreck are difficult to ignore. For skeptics, this tale might be nothing more than a series of unfortunate events, exaggerated by folklore. But for the locals, railway workers, and survivors, the curse of the Karsan train is a very real phenomenon, one that continues to haunt the tracks to this day. So, what truly happened on that fateful night? Was it a case of mechanical failure, a tragic accident, or something beyond human comprehension? And if the spirits of the lost passengers are indeed trapped between realms, is there a way to break the curse and set them free? Imagine standing near those haunted tracks at midnight, the air heavy with silence, the faint scent of old metal and rain lingering in the wind. Suddenly you hear it, a distant rumble, the slow screeching of wheels against the rails, the faint glow of headlights cutting through the fog. You turn to see a train approaching, but as it gets closer, it vanishes into thin air. The Karsan train may be gone, but its story remains alive in whispers, warnings, and chilling encounters. If you ever find yourself near those cursed tracks, listen closely. You might just hear the echoes of the past calling out to you. If you love haunting railway stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Shadow Trains. Have you ever experienced something paranormal while traveling? Or do you think this story is just another urban legend? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Stay tuned for more terrifying train mysteries, only on Shadow Trains.